Hi guys, it's Angelina here, Bikers Center Circle Radio, and I'm with Opal, who's behind the camera producing. And we have a special guest for you guys today. This is Mr. Neal Hultman, and I'm over here in Sturgis, South Dakota, up in Boulder Canyon. And I'm going to kind of pass it over to Neal because I kind of want him to tell you guys who he is and why I'm so excited to be talking to him today. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Neal. So
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I moved out to Sturgis from Holabird, South Dakota, which is 40 miles east of Pierre. Out in the flats, and the wind blew, and the snow blew, and the dust blew, and when I got out of high school, I said, we're going to go out to the hills and live where there isn't so much wind. And so that's one of the reasons we moved to the Black Hills.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any type of transportation because I'd sold my Model A after we decided to move out here. And I couldn't get a vehicle unless I signed up for a new one and waited for 6 months to a year to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the motorcycle shop and talked to Mr. Hoyle, and he said, well, we can get you a new one. It'll be a little while, a week or 2 or 3, whatever. And I said, well, that's fine, go ahead and order it. I didn't have a job at the time, and all I had was the money I got for selling my Model A. So I
Go ahead.
I told my aunt and uncle who I lived with that I needed a motorcycle and would like to get one. They said, well, you go right ahead, but you find a job so you can pay for it. Well, that was another problem I ran into. I got the motorcycle, I really loved it, and I got a job working at Fort Meade. And I had a buddy that I went to high school with who lived in Sturgis. He had a Harley Davidson because we kind of decided if one got a motorcycle, the other one was going to get one. So I had to get my new one. And it was something I had always wanted. I had 2 interests. One was airplanes and one was motorcycles. Well, I couldn't afford the airplanes, but I got the motorcycle. And it was one of the best things I'd ever done because it's been a part of my life right up till the day. And now I can't ride one, but I can sit on one and pretend I'm going down the road. And it's a fun thing. I met a lot of great people and had, not only locally, but in foreign countries, that people come to the rally. The rally is known for motorcycles, and we have them here. I got involved with the club. Mr. Hoyle said, if you're going to have a motorcycle, you've got to join the Jackpine Gypsies. So that's one of the first things I did. And we didn't have anything to do except meet on weekends and ride around the hills and have fun. So it went on, we have a rally, and Mr. Hoyle was involved with that. And the rally consisted of races. And the first race was on Saturday, the second race was on Sunday, and that was the rally. But more people started coming just to see the races, and the organization that was putting on the races decided that we had to have something to do for the people that were coming early and just sitting downtown and drinking beer and having fun. So they asked if we would run a tour, and we said we would. And at that time, Mount Rushmore had just been open to the public, I think in 42 or 3. So a lot of people had never been to Mount Rushmore, and it really took off as a very attraction that people like to come and see. We set up the tour where we knew where we were going, how far it was from one place to the other, where we were going to gas up, where we were going to stop and eat dinner, and so on. A tour isn't just something you get into with a group of people and let them go on their own. So we had that all planned. And the first couple of tours, we got help from the highway patrol. They decided they would lead us, which was a great help. And we thought we should have some type of emergency situation come up. We should have somebody there that was qualified to take care of it. Well, we got a couple nurses from Fort Meade to ride with the motor patrol. And of course, they were happy to have that too. And that's how I met my wife. She came on the tour, and then she'd never been on a motorcycle, and she was from North Dakota, and all. She didn't know what motorcycle was all about. So we got her educated, and then after a few years, we got married in lived happily ever after. I think 62 years ago that happened.
Oh, what a blessing.
Congratulations.
We had 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl, and then we have 2 grandchildren now. And they're all motorcycle riders. That was the first thing I taught them after they learned how to walk. And the youngest boy at that time, he wanted a motorcycle. He was about 3 or 4 years old, and I said, well, you can't have a motorcycle until you learn how to ride a bicycle. He lived in Rapid City with his parents. The next week after I'd seen him, and he told me about this, I said, get to learn how to ride that motorcycle or that bicycle. And he came, we stopped, he got out at the house, ran to the garage, got his bicycle out, and rode it around the block.
Uh-oh, so he held you to it.
So then it was about Easter time, and I thought, well, maybe I'd get him a little Yamaha or something, and my youngest son said he knew where there was one for sale. We bought it, and at Easter time we hid Easter eggs and put the motorcycle in the garage and put some eggs underneath, and the parents were here. We all went out. Grandmother, he can't ride that motorcycle if he sees it. And I said, no, he probably won't. Well, he uncovered the motorcycle, got astride of it. His dad came and started it up, and they were sitting there, and pretty soon he just took off and went up the road on the motorcycle. Well, Grandma and his mother didn't think that was too smart, but he's still riding motorcycle today. The other boy is pretty sharp on motorcycles also. All my children learned how to ride, and it's been part of our family, and it's been a good family, I think. Anyway, we're still going strong. Then getting back to the club, after we got the tours lined up, they were well received. And each year the tours became more popular and more people were interested in coming out and riding on the tour. That grew, and it got so big down through the years that we finally had to split it up because there was too many people riding motorcycles in the line going down the interstate. So we decided maybe we should divide it by having another tour to Devil's Tower. And so that way, one day we had a tour to Rushmore, the next day we had a tour of Devil's Tower. Well, they both grew, and it was part of the celebration, and it still is today. I don't think it's nearly as well received as it was years ago, but we do have tours going now. And my interest in the club was tours and racing. We didn't do any racing. It was strictly professional people that came in and raced, and then we all wished we could do that. In fact, after the rally was over, we'd get on our motorcycle and nobody was around. We'd go out and ride on the track. Well, fortunately, nobody ever got hurt, but it was a challenge, and we had fun doing it. The club, we had, when I joined in '47, most of the club members were either in the service or had just gotten out of World War II. They were really neat people. They were eager, you know, they wanted to get on their motorcycles and ride again, and so we had a lot of fun just doing fun things. Well, fun things turned into more obligation during the rally. We thought, well, we'll put on a hill climb. So we rented some land and went out and put on a hill climb, and it was well received. And the next year we had a hill climb again, and it was well received. We made a little money, and we didn't want to have any one member capitalize on it. So we went to the bank, and we thought if we just had some land of our own, would be fine. And one of the club members who had just gotten out of the service knew his way around and knew about some land. And we went to the bank, and they said, yeah, we'll back you for such and such amount. So we got the land, and then pretty soon we didn't have any place to meet. In the wintertime, we'd meet 1 week in Sturgis, and the next week we'd go to Lead, because that's where the other half of the club members were. And we had a program where if you attended the meeting, you got so many points, and if you went with your bike, it was more points. And if you wore the shirt and all the uniform, you got points for that. Well, we rode him the year around, and we went up to Denver Lead for some meetings that he wouldn't drive a car through, but we had a lot of extra Air Force winter garb for playing. And we bought a lot of that stuff and put it on, and we drove our feet all the way up to Lead to a meeting and then drove it all the way back. And this went on for a while, and we thought, well, it'd be nice to have a clubhouse. And we were making a little money with the tours and the hill climb. So we went to the bank, and they said, well, we'll back you for such and such amount. So we had a clubhouse built and got that cleared and paid for. And Bob Moore, who was here earlier, came to the club grounds, and he looked at it and he said, you need to have a short track race here. He said, he just came home from the service and had been down in Texas where they had short tracks. Sounded pretty good to us. Racing was part of our life. So we had a friend that, or one of our club members had a beet farm up north of town, had some equipment for dirt work, and he brought it down, and we moved the hill around and got the track laid out and put in our short track where it still is today in that same location.
Yep.
And that worked out pretty well, and things kept growing, and we had a hill on the other side of the short track that we thought we could use that for a hill climb. So we did. We've got that set up, and that was our hill climb, and still is today. Although the hill's starting to wear out after climbing it for so many years.
Yeah.
And then we had some other events besides the tour, the hill climb, and the short track, and that was enough to keep us pretty busy. But nobody ever realized a dime from working during the rally. If you had a bill for something you had to buy, lumber or whatever, bring it and we paid for it right there from the club funds. But everything went back into our operation, and it grew. People were happy at that time. We'd have at the end of the year, we'd all gather either at a picnic area or go to a restaurant and have a good big meal and just talk and, have fun. And then this last few years just kind of went by the wayside. But we still have some old members that are faithful and true to the original motorcycle.
Yep.
That's right. And we have done pretty well for ourselves. But we've got a little problem right now, but we're going to get it worked out legally, I think, and I hope. But it's been a fun thing and been a challenge, and motorcycling is still part of my life. I can't ride anymore due to the fact I have macular degeneration, but my son likes golf, and he got a golf cart, and so I use that and go for a ride every day and get a little fresh air and sunshine.
Oh, you got to get some wind, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Get those bugs in the face.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such an honor being able to come out and meet you and hear your story and hear the story of how things started and everything, because a lot of people they're aware of it, but yet they're really not aware. And the fact, and that our vets have been so instrumental through the years, and then the heart of America, people who were from this area that, wanted to start their lives like you did, and you started your life over, and look at what a life you've led.
Yeah,
It's
been a really fun time, and I'm not sorry for any part of it.
No, and this is your legacy, and right here in front of us, right between Angelina and Neal, here's just some of his trophies and everything. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a little review of this with me reflecting in the mirror there.
And it's so impressive. I mean, it's just.
Well, it's
so
like I say, a lot of the guys never kept their trophies, but I have, and I can relate to where I got it and what it was all about.
Absolutely.
And we have one here of the first motorcycle.
Why don't you show me which one?
Yes.
This one that's right in behind there.
That one in the case?
Yes.
Right there.
The Daimler, which was built over in Germany. The guy had built the motor. They had nothing to put it in. There was no cars or motorcycles. So they had some good woodworkers, and they built that replica now of that first motorcycle. We had it here in Sturgis on display, And it was really interesting. But there's a lot of things that I can relate to that probably aren't of any interest to a lot of people, but it means
Like
something to me.
Here's a picture right here of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Get a shot of that too. Yeah. And so who's in that photo with you, Neal?
Well,
Let's see.
oh, that one down there?
Yeah, that one right there. That one right there.
That was a postcard made up by Mr. Weil. We had all ordered new Indian motorcycles, and they were shipped in, and then he got a picture because it wasn't too common to have a dealer with 4 new motorcycles, and sold right there. And those are all club members at one time or another that are on there.
I see that.
And I think his son is on there on one of them too.
Yep, it says the Neal and Mako team. Mako team of Sturgis, South Dakota.
Yeah.
That's what it says on there. Nice. Yes, this is an incredible collection that you have.
It's
And you know, Neal, you just said that some of the memorabilia you have here, you know, may not mean a whole lot to other folks, but I'm going to have to say that anybody that rides, this means so much to us as well as riders, because you kind of set the ground running for us. And I don't want to get emotional here, but yeah, this is.
You meet the nicest people in the world riding a motorcycle.
Thank you. You do.
And we've all got the same thing that we love, and that's riding on a motorcycle and riding on 2 wheels.
Exactly.
And we all love it, and you can't describe it. You either like it or you get away from it.
Yeah, you have to live it.
Yep.
Unless you live it, you don't know.
It's your life.
Yeah, and this is incredible, and it's such an honor to be able to be here and everything. And
yes.
I'm glad to get my history out. I think it's kind of unique. I taught motorcycle safety for about 3 or 4 years after I retired from my regular job, and it was just, you got so much satisfaction from having people take the course, especially the ladies would come up and they'd say, "Boy, I'm glad you taught us how to stop a motorcycle with the brakes. I almost lost it the other day." And you know, I kind of hit that. When I first started teaching it, I thought, "Oh man, this is kiddie cart stuff." But you get into it and you do the right thing before you have the class, but you don't know why. And when you get into the class, they teach you why you do this, why you lock the brakes up, and why you do this. And it helps a lot of people learn how to ride.
it helps them learn how to ride, and also saves lives.
Yeah.
Which is very important. Not just the rider themselves, but other individuals that are riding in the pack with them. And it's very, very instrumental in with our rider safety. I know that Abate right now throughout the different states, the Abates, they are heading some phenomenal rider safety classes along with some of the Harley dealerships.
It's really growing.
And everything. Yes, and it is necessary for, Joe Q Journal Public, because we have so many new people that are out there riding right now, and they just get a bike and they hop on and they think, hey, you know what? I did dirt bike when I was in high school just a little bit, and they think they know how to ride. And I'm sorry, but rider safety is a lot more than just getting on a bike and strapping on your helmet or, just hitting the road. Rider safety is about awareness. Right. Awareness is key, and awareness is everything as a whole.
You learn to be a defensive rider.
It's defensive, offensive.
Ride very long.
Yep, defensive, offensive, kind of like going on the track.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up right now.
Okay.
And so, Angelina?
Well, guys, it's been an absolute honor. And Neal, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today. And it's been our pleasure. I don't want to get emotional. This man is like an idol to me.
An icon.
Right. So thank you so much for your time.
You're more than welcome.
And setting the ground, rolling for us. And and we just appreciate it. So anyhow, I want you guys to tune in to BikersInnerCircle.com with ANO Radio, and of course Opal will be posting some fantastic videos and pics of today's visit with Neal, and stay tuned to BIC Radio and listen for Good Time Charlie and Big G and DJ Throttle and Big Daddy and all the rest of the crew. So thanks for your time, y'all.
You betcha.
Bye.